Okay, we are getting started on part 2 of this 3-part video series with Rahel Wallace. In this section, we're going to go through how to set up your Facebook Ads Manager, and we'll pick up where we left off. Let's get started.
So I've actually not done anything in this account. I haven't set up all the things that I need to set up, which is perfect because I can actually do it on this call with you guys and walk you through it. So once you are in the Business Manager, you're going to see a screen similar to this. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to see Ad Manager, Ad Reporting, Event Manager. Once you set up your account a bit more things are going to populate here. You're not seeing that now because my account is not fully set up. The first thing that we want to do is you want to go ahead and add people if that has not been done before. How you do that is by clicking these 3 lines over to business setting, and then that's going to open it right up to people. If you don't see your name right here, that means you need to go here and click add, type in your Facebook email address, and just go through the steps, right? It's very simple, straightforward. You literally just have to type in your email address, go next. It's going to send you an email to verify your identity. And then once you click confirm in that email, then you're added, right? I've already been added because it typically adds you automatically. So if someone else is going to be doing your ads for you, you go ahead, you put their email in here, you select the access level that you want them to have. So you go here, admin access, and then you open up more options. And then you say, okay, I want them to be able to do developer stuff. So they're going to be able to, deal with my APIs and my event manager and stuff like that. Or I want them to be able to look at my transactions and my invoices and my, account spend or stuff like that. Or I want them to be the one who is paying for my ads, right? So you literally can have different access based on these roles here. So for example, let's say you are partnering with someone else. They are the one who is going to pay for the ads and you're the one who has the account. You can literally add them on here, and then you can select finance editor, and then that person is going to have the ability to add their payment method. So it's very flexible. But once you've added a person, yourself or someone else who's going to run your ads for you, the next thing that you want to add is a page. So over here on the left-hand side under accounts, you're going to see a bunch of stuff. You're going to go on pages first because that's the next thing that you need to have. As soon as you have people, next thing you want to have is pages. So we're going to go ahead and click that. Now, my page has already been added, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what to do if you want to add another page. So you're going to click add, and you're going to see 3 options. Are you adding a page that's already been made that you own? So this is if you have a page that you own on your Facebook. Then you have the option to request access to a page. So let's say you want to add a page that is not on your Facebook. You didn't create the page. Maybe your author partner created the page. It's on their Facebook account and you want to get access to it so you can run ads from that page. Here is where you go to do that. Let's say you don't have a page yet and you want to create one from scratch. You literally can do it right here. Once the page is on your Facebook account, you are the Facebook person who created that page. It's going to automatically add it. It's not doing that for me because I have that page tied to my other Facebook ad account. When you add your page, the next thing that you want to do is you want to add a person to the page. So what that means is on Facebook, when you're doing your business manager, you need to give the person who is going to run ads for you access to the actual page. If you have not added them, then they won't be able to actually run any ads or manage the page or do anything. So you're seeing my name here right now. Let me remove myself and let's just do this from scratch, right? I would have to go here to add people, and you're going to see the names of whomever you have as people that you've added as a user. So in my case, it's just me alone. Click my name. And then over here, I have the ability to select all the things that I want myself to be able to do. So in my case, I'm giving myself access to everything. And then I'm going to go ahead and assign. And it says one person has been added to page Rahel Wallace. And you're done. That's it. So make sure that once you've added the page, you go ahead right here under people and add yourself to that page so that you are able to do the things that you need to do with your ad. Now that we've had added people and we've added pages, the next step is to add an ad account, because that's not automatic. That's something that you actually have to create. So I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on this one. So when I click add, 3 options come up for me. I can add an ad account, which is something that it's on some other account. I'm claiming it based on the account that I have. I can request access to an ad account, meaning it's somebody else's ad account, and I'm going to add it to this one now. Or I can create a new ad account. So that's what we're going to actually do right now. We're going to create a new ad account. So a couple of things that I have to do is I'm going to give the account a name. In this case, we're just going to put Rahel Wallace ad account. Literally just that, right? Then you need to pick your time zone. What's the time zone that you're in? In my case, I'm in Bogota, America, Bogota. And then you want to pick the currency. What currency do you want your ad to be in? So if it's US dollars, or is it, Taiwanese or Turkish lira, what is it? So in my case, it's US. Then you click next. And then it's going to ask you, who will this account be used for? It's going to be used for my business, Rahel Wallace, which is the name of the business manager account that was created. So we're going to choose that. And then you click create. And it's going to do its little thing. And then this is popping up. You need to add people again. So for everything, if you're adding a page or you're adding an ad account or you're adding maybe your Instagram, it's going to always ask you to add people, which is who is going to have access to this account to do stuff in, right? So we're going to go ahead and pick Rahel Wallace. And then I'm going to give myself access to everything, full control. And then I'm going to assign. Now, the next thing it's going to ask you for is your payment information. I'm not going to put that up right now on the call, but just know that you would click here and it's going to open up the option for you to add your payment information, right? It's going to ask you for your credit card or debit card or your PayPal. I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now, but that's it. Once you've added people, pages, an ad account, and your payment information, your account is ready to start serving ads. So now that my account has been set up, there are a few other things that you're going to have to do. One of which, the main thing, is to finish making sure that your business info is filled out. I already did this. So, that's there, but it's going to ask you for your address and your phone number and tax ID if you have that stuff and all that stuff, right? If you don't have it, you don't have to put it. If you don't have a tax ID because it's not a registered business, don't worry about it. You do not have to have that. What I do recommend you have, though, is try to have 2-step verification on, 2-step authentication. That way you are protected in case someone tries to hack your account. You do that right here. I don't have any, but if I were, I'd go on admins only. And then what's going to actually happen is when I try to log in, it's probably going to ask me for a login code that it's going to send to my email. And then I have to go in my email, get the code, drop it in, and then I'm in. So that's something that you want to have. Next step, we're actually going to start creating an ad. So how do we go about doing the ad? We are going to go ahead and we're going to click these 3 lines here and we're going to go in the ad manager. Once you're in the ad manager, your dashboard is going to look something like this. It's going to be blank because if you don't already have a business manager account and it's brand new, it's going to be blank like this one. The first step that we want to take is to click the word create. And what happens is that it's going to pop up here. Now, the reason why I'm seeing this notification here is because I have not added my payment method. It's fine because I'm not going to actually publish the ad that I'm creating today. But whenever you actually are ready to publish, make sure that you have your payment information in the account when you're setting things up, right? Now, your Facebook ad is going to look something like this. It's going to have awareness, consideration, conversion. In some cases, it might look slightly different because my other Facebook ad account, when this pops up, it looks a little bit different. It has engagement, and then it has conversions, and then it has leads, and then it has a few others. So it's not set up like this. It's set up more just down like this, right? But however it's set up, you're typically going to see these options right here. You're going to see typically these 11 options, 8 to 11 options. I think mine has 8 options. This has 11. Now, let me do a quick walkthrough of what each of these mean. Brand awareness is simple. It's where you're going to show your ad to people who are most likely to remember. I mentioned before that Facebook is really great at knowing people's behavior. So they literally know the types of people who would be best to serve an ad to when you want them to be aware of your brand and remember your brand. Then you have reach, which is they're going to show your ad to the maximum number of people, So with regards to awareness, this is if you just want to get a bunch of clicks, a bunch of people going on your page, your author page, or a bunch of people going on some other page, right? This is not necessarily the best thing to choose if you want to actually get sales or get signups. Now, the next section here is consideration. You have traffic, and it's going to send people to your website or, Amazon or wherever it is. Then you have engagement. These are people who are going to like it. They're going to like your ad. They're going to do post reactions. They're going to comment. They're going to share. Then you have app installs. You don't have to worry about this at all. Video views. You don't have to worry about this in the beginning. Lead generation. You don't have to worry about this as well. Messages. Don't have to worry about this because this is where when someone clicks your ad, they're going straight into your inbox. You don't have to think about this. Then over here, we have conversions, which is we have conversions where it's going to show your ad to people who are most likely to take action, like buying something. This is really, really great. Let me explain. There's a big difference between traffic and conversion. When you create a traffic ad, what happens is Facebook is going to serve your ad to the people that it knows are most likely to click and go to an external page. But they are not necessarily the best people for buying. As I mentioned before, Facebook knows everything about you. They know who is most likely to buy. They know how much money that person is most likely to spend. They know what times of day that person typically clicks to buy something. They know so much. So when it comes on to which campaign objective to choose, depending on what you want to happen will depending on which one of these options you choose. In your case, all you have to ever think about is traffic or conversions. That's it. Don't have to think about any of the others. Now, with regards to conversions, that is only going to be used when you actually are sending traffic to your own website. So you're sending them to your own landing page that you've created, and you want them to either buy your book from that landing page or sign up for your email list on that landing page. You cannot use conversion ads if you're sending traffic to Amazon. Because when you're setting up conversion ads, there's something that you have to set up called a pixel, Facebook pixel. I'm not going to go into detail on that, but essentially the pixel is what you put on the websites that you want to track people. So let's say I put it on my website. When someone clicks from Facebook to my website, the pixel is going to tell Facebook, okay, this person clicked, and then they put in their name and their email and they've signed up. And then they went ahead and they added something to their cart. And then they went ahead and they did all these different things. The pixel is going to tell Facebook that information. And then Facebook is going to have that information in the dashboard to say, okay, this is what happened when people clicked. These are the amount of people who signed up. These are the amount of people who added to cart. These are the amount of people who did all these different things. So that's what the pixel does. I don't know how many people are aware of the update that happened with Apple, but Apple did an update, an iOS update that kind of stops tracking using pixels. And so what happens is the pixel is not as effective as it used to be. But Facebook has come in with a different way to do it called a conversion API. We're not going to go into the details of that. Just know that whenever you're sending traffic to Amazon, you're going to use a traffic ad. Whenever you're sending traffic to your own page, you want to use a conversion ad. In this case, we are going to do the traffic ad because we're going to be setting up an ad that's sending people straight to Amazon. There are 3 levels to a Facebook ad. We have the campaign, we have the ad set, and we have the ad. Now let's go through the 3. First thing is the campaign. And the campaign is simple. This is literally what objective is the ad trying to accomplish. In this case, traffic, right? The objective of this campaign is to get traffic. The first step we want to take is to name this campaign. In this case, I'm going to name this client number 7. Now, with your campaign, you can name it anything you want. You can name it the book that you're trying to market and a unique number. So I like to just mash my keyboard numbers to just give a unique number. That way, I don't have the book name for all my campaigns, and then I'm left wondering which one is which. So I recommend that you, with regards to your naming convention, you put a identifier here, which is what are you going to use to identify this? In my case, I'm going to use client number 7. You know what? I'm actually going to use, I'm going to go ahead and use the book. So Path of Courage. And then plus just a bunch of random numbers. So that's the first thing that you want to do. Name your campaign. Next step is you don't have to worry about this part right here. Just leave it alone. And here, you don't have to touch here either. Literally just skip over that part. Don't have to touch A/B testing. That's an advanced strategy. You don't need to worry about that in the beginning of doing Facebook ads. At least for the first year, you literally don't have to touch any of this right here. Next is campaign budget optimization. There are reasons why you want to enable this. You want to turn it on, and reasons when you don't want to. In this case, we're going to turn it on because what's going to happen is when you set campaign budget optimization, Facebook is going to be like, okay, what's your budget? And however many ads you make in this campaign, it's going to run traffic to all those ads and decide which ad is the best one to put the money to. So Facebook is very smart. They know which ad is working the best, which ad is performing the best, which ad is getting the most clicks and likes and engagements and all the stuff. So when you tell Facebook to use campaign budget optimization, they are going to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to take over. They run traffic to all the ads that you have in the campaign. And whichever one they see is getting the best results, they're going to put the money on that one and forget about the others. So that's what campaign budget optimization does. If you disable it, you're going to have to pick your budget in the ad set. For your case, go ahead and enable campaign budget optimization. When you're just starting out, just enable it. Don't worry about anything, just enable it. Then you're going to go ahead and set your budget. In this case, we're going to say budget $5, right? We're going to start with a $5 budget. You don't have to worry about anything under here, like show more options. Don't even worry about it. So again, what did we do here? We went ahead and we named the campaign, the name of the book, plus a random number identifier. Then we went ahead and enabled campaign budget optimization. And then we put our daily budget for $5. That's it. That's all you have to do in your campaign section of Facebook. All right. So the next step after you've set up your campaign is your ad set. Now, what is the ad set? You're going to click here. It's essentially just a place for you to pick who you're going to send the ad to, who is going to see the ad. This is where you're going to pick your audience and you're going to, figure out, okay, I want to send this to people who love romance, or I want to send this to people who love reading Stephen King or whatever it is. This is where you do that magic. So the first step we want to take is we want to name the ad set. Typically, I like to name my ad sets based on the audience that I've created. So I'm going to leave this blank for now and then come back to this. Over here, we have traffic. So these are the different places that you can send the traffic to. Are you sending it to a website or an app or messenger, WhatsApp, call? You don't have to worry about any of these things. Leave it on website because you're sending it to Amazon or you're sending it to, wherever. Leave it on website. Next step, dynamic creatives. Don't even worry about it. This is also an advanced strategy or feature that I would not recommend someone who is new to Facebook even look at. So you're going to leave that off. Show more options. You don't need to worry about that either. It's literally going to talk about like impressions and stuff like that. You don't have to touch that. The only thing you're going to touch is your schedule. So when do you want your ads to start? And are you going to have an end date? In my case, let's say I started for today and I want the end date to be in 5 days. So the 31st. What's going to happen is that on July the 31st at 12 a.m., my ad is going to automatically shut off. That's what this means. If I do not select this, then it's going to continually run for infinity until you decide that you're going to shut it off. So just be aware that if you do not set an end date for your ad, it's going to always run. It's going to be ongoing. So you pick your budget, you pick your schedule, that's it. The reason why you're not seeing budget right here is because we already picked the budget right here. We did the campaign budget optimization. If I take off campaign budget optimization here, you're going to see budget show up here. See that? So what this means is that if I'm choosing the budget at the ad set level, then I'm just going to pick it here. But if I choose it here at the campaign level, then it's not going to show up here. That's all that means. Next thing that we want to do is we want to pick an audience. So this is where we literally pick the demographics or interests or behaviors of the people that we want to reach, we want to target. First thing we want to look at is location. I'm going to edit that, I'm going to take off Jamaica, and we're going to pick a location. The first thing that we want to do when we're setting up our audience is right here. You want to target the people who are living in the location that you want your ad to be served to. So if your ad is going to go to people in the US, then it's going to just show to people in the US, not people who visited the US and live in the US. So that's the first thing that you want to choose. Then you want to choose your locations. Now, here is a little tip or trick that I want to tell you about when it comes on to choosing your locations. I know a lot of times people are tempted to just go with the English-speaking countries. They'll go with United States and then they'll go with United Kingdom. They pick the big English-speaking countries, right? Don't do that, because what's going to happen is that your cost per ad is going to be really high. Your cost per impressions, which is how much money are you spending for 1,000 people to see your ad? That's going to be really high. That can be as high as like $30, $40 for 1,000 people to see it, which is crazy because not everyone who sees it is going to actually click or do anything. So you might end up spending $30, $40 for like 1 or 2 clicks. You don't want that. What you do instead is you add the English-speaking countries that you are typically looking for readers in, and then you're going to add a few other countries that typically have a lower cost per click. When you do this, you bring your cost per impression down to sometimes $2 or less than $1, which means that it's only costing you, let's say, $2 for every 1,000 people to see your ad versus $30 for 1,000 people to see your ad. So that's a trick that not a lot of people know, and that's something that you want to do. So you want to have 3 or 4 other countries that are not necessarily predominantly English-speaking countries inside your ad targeting when you're doing your location. So here we have United States, United Kingdom, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. Then we have Colombia, Brazil, South Africa, and Philippines. Now, another thing to note as well is these countries are really underserved. Most people are trying to target these big countries, but there are readers in these countries as well, right? And these countries also have a huge English-speaking population. And how are we going to decide that? We're going to go down here where you see all languages. We're going to edit that, and we're going to type in English. So what this does is that only people who actually speak English are going to be served your ads. So by doing that, you've lowered your ad cost up here by adding all these countries, and you've ensured that only people who actually are going to understand your ad will be able to see it right here. Next thing, when you're just starting out, leave your age range from 18 to 65. Don't even trouble it. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Some people will tell you to narrow that down to who you think are the likely people to look at your ad. In the beginning, you do not want to limit yourself. You want to let Facebook figure things out for you, because Facebook knows more than you do, right? And they will know the types of people to send your ad to based on all the data that they have. So leave this for now. Gender, you can choose this one. For now, I'm going to go with all genders. The big part that everyone struggles with, that everyone worries about, is the detailed targeting. And I'm going to show you something really, really simple with your detailed targeting. The beauty about Facebook right now, and this was not the case a couple of years ago, it is the case now. Facebook has gotten so good at figuring out who the people are that will love your book, that will love whatever it is that you're trying to sell on their platform. Facebook has gotten so good. And so you don't have to do a ton of targeting. You don't have to start putting, okay, I want people in this age range that go to this type of store, that like to buy these types of books, that do, like, you don't have to go that detailed. In the beginning, I recommend that you go broad. And what does that mean? It means you're just going to type in some broad terms. So for example, in this case, the book that I'm going to be marketing is a thriller. And I'm going to just type in thriller and see what comes up. So these are all kinds of different interests that are coming up. Just going to have a look-see. All right. So it has crime in there. Psychological thriller it is. So we're going to pick psychological thriller as one of our targets. Once we've chosen one thing, we're going to go ahead on suggestions. And what this does is Facebook is now going to tell us a bunch of other search terms that are similar to psychological thriller that we can choose from. So we have mystery fiction, we have crime fiction, we have thriller movies. So we can go ahead and pick that if we want. We can also go ahead and pick other types of authors. So in this case, I know that one of the authors that my client it has books similar to would be the Jack Reacher series. So I'm going to try that to see, right? So we go ahead, we pick that one, we go in suggestions, and now we're going to look at all the other types of search terms that we can use in this case. Tom Clancy, perfect. So this kind of just gives you some ideas. One thing that you can do when you're doing your targeting is you can look up the top authors on Amazon. So you go ahead and go on Amazon, you type in the genre, look at the top 100 books, look at the authors there, write a few of them down, and just come back here and check to see if they're there. They're not all going to be there, because even up to a few months ago, Facebook literally got rid of thousands of search terms. Kindle Unlimited used to be available. It's not available anymore. So not all of the authors that you want are going to be there, but just search until you find a few. You want to find 3 to 5 different authors and or one big search term. So in this case, I'm not going to use all these different search terms. I'm literally not going to use all of these because my audience is going to be too broad. As you can see here, 123 million. I don't need to be targeting 123 million people with a $5 a day budget. I don't need that. So I'm going to take off some of these. I'm going to keep it to the authors alone. So Michael Connelly, Tom Clancy, Vince Flynn, And that's it. We've gone down to 5.6 to 6.6 million. Let's say you do children's book. You can type that in. Okay, you see children's literature. You literally pick that. You don't have to do anything else. You literally don't have to do anything else. However, if you are like, okay, I want to target a little bit more detailed, you go ahead and you can pick picture books, or you can say early childhood education, or you can say childcare, because these are things that people who are looking for content for their children will be checking out. At the end of the day, when it comes on to targeting, the most important thing to think about is, how can I reach in front of someone who would be interested in this book, my book? What are they checking out? What are the things that they are interested in? And once you find one or two interests, then that's it. You don't have to target all the interests, okay? Start with one or two, and then you can work your way up after that. So in this case, as I said, we're going to do Michael, Tom, and Vince, right? That's it. We're moving on. You can save your audience. If you do, it's just going to save it so that you can check it, use it at another time. You don't have to. You don't have to do that part. Next stage, placement. Keep it on automatic. Manual is going to have you trying to pick a bunch of things. Don't confuse yourself with that part. Just pick automatic and leave it. It feels like I just did a lot, but it's because I'm trying to explain the different areas. But all we literally did was we went here, we picked a bunch of locations that we want the ad to serve to. Then we picked a few search terms that we want to use. We set it to English so that everyone who is seeing the ad is someone who speaks English. That's all we did. That's literally all we did. It feels like a lot, but we did not do a lot of stuff. Now I need to name this, and I'm just going to name this Thriller Authors, and then I'm going to put a bunch of numbers at the back, right? That's it. So we've already done our campaign and we've done our ad set. Next thing we want to do is the actual ad.